Welcome back to the Airborne Podcast. I'm your host, Ajit. That's Big Boy Braz with us, and Thanos back on the podcast. The Raptors did not get the luck of the Irish when they went against the Pistons, but they got the luck of a full women's broadcasting squad, and they end...
Yo, big ups to them. Yo, big ups. Kia Nurse, yo, big ups.
For sure. As they end a 9-game losing streak to a pretty solid team in the Western Conference. They're the 5th seed in the Denver Nuggets, and they blew them out. It was a flawless game from start to finish. All the main guys on the floor, the starters for the Raptors, were all a positive. I think Lowry was like a positive 42, a plus minus 42 on the floor in 33 minutes. He had 8 points, 5 rebounds, 9 assists, a typical Lowry type of game. Maybe the final game as a Toronto Raptor. Norman Powell had dropped 22. A typical game for him, the way the season's going, as he's been scoring and dropping 20-plus points basically like the whole season. And Pascal Siakam had a comeback game. 27
He played well. He played really well.
Yeah.
He came up from the get-go, from the start, dropped a couple of threes. I think he had like 3 or 4 threes in the first quarter. And he had like 16, I believe, in the first quarter. And he was flirting with a triple-double with 27 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. OG Anunoby on both sides of the floor. Threes were dropping for everybody. They had a career. Paul Watson had 4 threes for the game. He had 12 points. Him and Bembry in the fourth quarter were going crazy.
Matt Thomas hit threes. Yo, it's an amazing game today, guys.
It was one of those nights, eh?
One of those nights. Matt Thomas had a couple of threes in that fourth quarter in garbage minutes. But overall, the Raptors had a career high, franchise high, 24 three-pointers made at 48 attempts, 50% from 3 today. It was just one of those nights like you said. And I believe they shot 52% from the field as a whole.
Yeah, it was a 50-50-90 game today.
Holy shit. For free throw line too?
Yeah.
That's like Steph Curry numbers. Steph Curry numbers. I mean, bro, a win is a win. You know, it's bittersweet because the trade deadline is less than 24 hours away. And more than likely, we're going to have some new players on our team, whether it's Kyle Lowry, the GOAT, the greatest Raptor of all time, or Norman Powell, who a lot of people are interested around the league. We've already heard it. There's been multiple reports. Or a guy like Aaron Baines, who's basically been non-existent throughout the year.
Yo, take him. He's sick, yo. Please, yo. Someone take him. He's amazing, yo.
But, Bravs, I want to get it to you. We can finally breathe, you know. That luck really worked for us with the whole women's broadcasting team. So why don't you tell me how you feel after this game?
First I want to say, like, yo, big ups to the all-female cast. You know, like, it's a learning curve. You know, like, there's a change is gonna happen. So big up to them.
They got to normalize it.
Yeah,
for sure. It's a good step forward. Kia Nurse looked like she was a pro, man. Like the way she was talking, she made reference to Leo. No, it wasn't Leo. It was
Jack Armstrong.
Yeah, Jack Armstrong. So it was like, yo, it's pretty dope stuff. Like, one feedback I want to give though is add more energy, right? I feel like Kayla was kind of like bland, but it's a learning curve, but it's fine. But I like the direction TSN and the whole Bell Media are going, so big ups to them for that. But back to the game, you know, like I said, bittersweet, man. Like, I'm the type of fan. I was love and hate with Kyle Lowry when he first started. I hated him. Not hate, but like it was like, you know, like I know he can do well, but he was trash. And then the days where he was trash, I'll trash him even more. But like when he does well, I love him, like a typical fan, right? But it's just you just grow to. That's the way you grow to love a player, right? Love and hate. So I hope it's not last game, just because I want him to come back. But if it is, you know, big ups to him. I appreciate you. I thank you for all you've done. But back to the game though, like you said, everyone just killed it today. Like where was this? It's like the Space Jam monsters came and they stole all of our powers and then they gave it back to us, right? Like, man, like everyone's killing it today. Even man, Spicy P, yo, I have to give him the spicy back today because, yo, those moves were spicy.
You put the spicy back in P for sure with the way he performed tonight. Lowry, like we said, he didn't have a really good game, but his plus minus was fantastic for the game. He was getting a lot of the younger guys involved.
Sure.
I think they had 7 threes in the first quarter, so you knew the night started off hot. Like everyone was making threes, but Pascal set the tone with his 3-pointers from the top of the key. And talking about Kia Nurse, she was fantastic for most night, but you got to give her credit. This is her second job. She's a WNBA player, right? So like, but a lot of the girls, I mean, all of them did well tonight, and definitely got to normalize it. But the Raptors, I mean, I'm just happy, bro. Like, just get a W.
You can see my face, man. I'm like, I've been smiling the whole video right now. Like, I can't stop smiling. I was just so happy with the win today. Like, I wasn't expecting. I didn't think they would do this well over the 3-point line because of the past games they've been playing. But I'm really happy they came through today, just because of the fact that I feel like if this is Lowry's last game, he went off by ending the streak. You know, that's a good thing.
Guaranteed. Like, he deserves to go out on a good note.
Yeah.
And he went like this. He went like this straight before he left. And then, you know, the Raptors, we talked about this in the previous podcast. Like, they play to their competition. And when they're playing good competition, they play at their level. That's why the Utah game was so close. And today they smacked Denver from the first quarter all the way through the fourth. I don't think there was a quarter where they let go.
The Joker, man.
I don't think they had a lead. The Joker was out of breath in the third quarter. So like, he couldn't breathe. He's like, yo, what's going on right now?
You know, on the stat sheet, when you look at it, he had 20, 10, and 5. But for the most part, they did a really good job on him. Jamal Murray, too. Like, he hit a few tough shots, but for the most part, they did pretty good.
Even Michael Porter was doing
Michael Porter was crazy at the
time. Michael Porter was wetting. Yeah, he was wetting threes all night long.
He's just been hitting threes.
The Raptors' ball movement on so many plays tonight were off the charts. There's one play in transition that started with Norman Powell, and it went around, and then Anunoby threw something without even looking back to the corner.
I don't even know how he got that through.
Man,
how he saw Norman Powell right there.
Where was this for 8 games?
I know. Where was this the last 2 games at least? Like, those are 2 winnable games. Like, Houston and Cavs, they could have beat those 2 teams, you know?
Pascal and OG were facilitating like they were men possessed tonight. Like, all their passes, and Lowry too, but Lowry has been doing that for so long. But these guys, even though Pascal had a few moments here and there where, you know, he didn't do so well, but for the most part, we saw the real Spicy P back in action. And all these guys scored like 20 plus, except for Lowry. I think, how much did Van Vliet? I think Van Vliet,
you had 19 points, 2 assists.
Yeah, Pascal had 27, Norman had 22, OG had
23. OG had 23, and Larry had 8, 5, and 9.
Yeah. And yeah, the Raptors ball movement, like, this is what the Raptors basketball is all about. They had a few defensive lapses, perhaps, before you get in, but for the most part, they were on point. Like, this game was done like 6 to 7 minutes in that fourth quarter, and it was just garbage basketball after that.
I just love the way that Siakam came into the game and just set the tone. Like, that's what he's supposed to do. Like, just make a couple threes, get into the paint, you know, instead of not doing the spin, like doing the constant spin cycle and like pump faking every time, you know, like, it's like people can read that, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And Brabs, like, he had a few moments there where he did have some few missed layups like he did in previous games, but he didn't let it bother him throughout the game, and he didn't get frustrated. And even with all this hoopla about him and Nick Nurse getting at it back and forth,
I was gonna say that.
Like, it didn't bother him, and he played well tonight. Like, I'm gonna say it right off the bat right now, and I'm gonna get into that before we get into the stats. But we're putting him as the star player of the game tonight, 100%.
100%.
I think that encounter with Nick Nurse was well needed. A lot of people say, you know, when friends butt head, you know, it's sometimes a good thing, right? They reconnect, they set their goals, so they set their goals, realign it, and then now look at them, right? He's like the Spicy P that went missing prior to the bubble is now back, right? But again, it has to be consistent. It can't just be a one-time show, right? Like, it has to be a consistent night in, night out. But I'm just glad I saw parts of it. But I want to be consistent going forward.
Yeah, we can't look too into it right now because it's only one game.
Yeah.
But even the prior game, he had a double-double, 21 and 10 against the Rockets. It just when they lose the games, it doesn't mean as much, right? And for Spicy P right now, I mean, however the team looks, in my eyes, he's not a number one option. He played like it today.
Yeah.
But he's still not a number one option to me. And when you got everyone rolling like that, it's easier for Pascal to do what he does, right? Because you can't leave anyone open. Like Fred VanVleet hit like a crazy shot in the corner.
Yeah.
He hit a few threes.
Yeah, over Will Barton. Yeah. And then OG had some nice passes to Norman Powell, who cut. I think he had one pass to Norman Powell when he cut. And then
and then slammed it.
Yeah, and then Pascal also had one as well. I think one was an and one, right? Jokic fouled him. It was that one, yeah. Jokic fouled Norman Powell, and OG made OG basically drove into the paint, threw a pass to Norman Powell,
and then dunked it. Yeah.
Jokic fouled him. For the most part, though, the Raptors, I mean, you can't complain. Everything was good.
Before you hop into the stats, is one thing I want to talk about. Like I know we won and all, but there's one thing I want us to change is like when we drive baseline, right? We tend to always kick it back out, right? And it's so predictable. Like I seen the Joker, sorry. At least stop 2 or 3 of those. You know, like if we want to win, we can't be predictable. You gotta be, like unpredictable. You have to make sure that you're making plays that people can read, right? So that's one thing I want. Like if we want to continue to do well, we have to make sure if we go baseline, don't kick it back out to six because it's a consistent same movement, right? Switch it up, go back, go to the left corner, like switch it up.
The thing with them is they had like a few turnovers where they'll drive into the paint and then they'll jump in the air.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And then like they got an easy turnover, but they also had a couple plays where they had trouble with the zone, with Denver's zone. But for the most part, because they were making the three at such a high clip, it was easy to break it down. And Pascal was doing a really good job breaking down the defense and kicking it back out.
Yeah, but I felt like the bench, like even though the bench did somewhat decent tonight, I feel like, I don't know, I just still feel like we don't have a bench. And I feel like just because of the 4 starters we had that played so well today, I feel like that just kind of, like, we kind of forgot about the bench. And so with the Nuggets. The Nuggets didn't really have any bench play tonight either. So I feel like that played a pretty big factor tonight for them. But but like the threes, like what my brother said, we're hitting tonight. There's nothing. I don't feel like there's anything negative to talk about this game. I just feel like this was all in all a good game.
The Raptors, for 3 out of the 4 quarters, scored 34 plus points.
Yeah.
They ended the game with 135. I know it looks like we didn't play defense because Denver Nuggets ended up with 111. We played defense. I think they only scored 84 points in the up to the third quarter. Like we didn't allow more than 90 points when the game was still relevant. They only had 90. We only had 90 points on the board. Aside from that, all the other points were just straight out of garbage minutes.
Yeah.
And what you mentioned earlier, we had a 51% field. We were 51% from the field, 45 of 89. And we were 50% from 3, 24 field goals, 24 threes out of 48 attempts. And then we were 90% from the free throw line. We were 21 of 23.
First time I'm seeing the Raptors getting more free throws than the opponent. I don't think I've ever seen the Raptors get more free throws.
I agree. Like it's been a while since we were like above our opponent in free throws opportunities.
Yeah.
I'm just happy we're getting free throw attempts in general and getting calls like that to begin with.
For sure.
Yeah.
The Raptors defense was solid, like I mentioned earlier. They held the Denver Nuggets to 42% from the field, 41 field goals out of 98 attempts. They were 33% from the three-point line. They made 14 threes out of 43 attempts. And they were 83% from the free throw line, 15 of 18 attempts. Rebounding wasn't a factor tonight. The small ball lineup and whoever had minutes tonight really helped rebounding. Paul Watson really did a good job in the fourth. He made 3 threes out of 4 attempts in the fourth quarter. He rebounded so much tonight. Paul Watson had 12.6 rebounds off the bench. And even Bembry had like a little putback in the beginning in the first quarter. And then he had like a nice little scoop finish in the fourth quarter.
Oh, he looked like Julius Irving, man, or Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
He had the first 5 points of that fourth quarter. These guys, like, this is what we're talking about, consistency, right? Sometimes they look like they're amazing players.
Yeah.
Sometimes they look like they're complete garbage.
Yeah.
The rebounding, though, the Raptors were only a -1. They had 45.
Wow, that's the first time.
Yeah, 45 to Denver's 46. Offensive rebounds, they still killed us. We only had 9. They had 17, so it was a +8.
Mhm.
Assists,
Yeah, Joker killed us.
we were, I think, to start the game, we were like 11-0, like fast break points. Even though the Nuggets killed us in second chance points still.
Mm-hmm.
Our assists tonight, we had 31 assists on 45 made field goals. Sorry, 31 assists and 45 made field goals, and they had 25, so we're a +6 in assists. Steals, they had 5, we had 3, so we're a -2. Blocks, we had 6, they had 2, we were a +4. Turnovers, we only had 9 for the game. They had 11, so we were a +2. And then points in the paint, they were +10. We had 38, they had 48. Second chance points, they had 27, we had 14. We were +13. You saw Michael Porter Jr. on a possession there in the fourth, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
He just kept, I think it was the third or fourth quarter, he had like 2 or 3 offensive rebounds over like 5 Raptor players.
Gee.
I remember that possession very vividly. Like it was ridiculous. Like he looked like a man amongst boys, and he just put it back in. Like no one was even there. Like he was just playing on the playground by himself. Fast break points. Like I said, we were on 11-0 run in the beginning.
Yeah.
We ended off the game 16-2, so we were +14. And points off turnovers were +5. We had 20, they had 15. Our biggest lead tonight was 35 points.
Damn.
Their biggest lead was 2 personal fouls. We had 21, they had 19. So, like I said, this game was a flawless masterpiece.
Yeah.
Nothing to complain about. If the Raptors play like this, I don't think we would stress out as much as we, this is what they can play to, right? Like this is their standard. They're a championship team that knows how to win. They've had lapses, but the season has been like that with them being home away from home, right?
For sure.
Like Tampa
100%.
Bay, they have 72 road games, like Nick Nurse said, and they've had so many winnable games this season, but the ball just hasn't bounced in their favor. And I feel like the Raptors literally could be over 500, still in the 4th or 5th seed, but it's just the luck is not in our favor right now.
With the other additions we get, if we do trade Lowry or Powell, I honestly I feel like we can make the playoffs. If they play like this, the sky's the limit for us. I feel like we can.
You think if we revamp the roster, we could make a run in the play-in and maybe upset a team in the top 4? I don't think so.
Yeah, if we play like this, I feel like we can.
Our core is nice, yo. Our core is solid. Like Manujo was saying, our core is good. We just need that big.
I'm saying like the way that OG, Pascal, and Fred played today, like Norman and Lowry are expendable pieces where we can, we can sign. We just need another facilitator like Lowry, maybe Alonzo Ball.
Oh,
I like Lonzo Ball. I like Lonzo Ball on our team. He'd be solid for us.
Imagine the starting lineup. Well, not a starting lineup, but Lonzo and Van Vliet would play. I think they'd be a good fit together.
Yeah, and I agree.
You think you know what's funny? I didn't think about Lonzo. You think Lonzo Ball would be a good fit for us?
Yeah. I feel like he would.
I think he does a lot of things like Lowry does. Like how Lowry finds those people in those crazy little cracks in the defense. Like I feel like Lonzo is capable of doing the same thing. He just needs a little bit more time to develop. Yeah. And I feel like with Fred VanVleet's leadership and his veteran experience, being in those tough moments and learning from Lowry, I feel like that will rub off Alonzo if he comes to the team.
And he's pretty tall for a guard too, right?
Yeah, he's like 6'5", 6'6", and he plays defense better than Norman Powell.
Yeah,
and he's a better on-ball defender. And him and Van Vliet in the backcourt playing defense, that's some lethal shit. Not gonna lie. And he fixes broken jump shot, right?
Yeah, he'd be a solid. No, he can shoot the threes now.
He's had games this season where he's made 7 threes. His free throw shooting is way better than it's ever been. And he's a really good rebounding guard like Lowry, just a lot taller. He's made for today's NBA. And, even though we go for small guards, I feel like Lonzo's the person we should take a shot at. Mm-hmm. Forget about the LeVar bullshit. Like, that doesn't matter. Yeah. But
hopefully the border stop them.
That depends on if we ever get back to Toronto.
Yeah.
But for the most part, we talked about everyone's stats. I mean, I'm just going to go through it real quick. Pascal in 34 minutes at 27 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal and a block. OG Anunoby in 28 minutes at 23 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal and a block. Lowry, and maybe possibly his final game, 33 minutes at 8 points, 5 rebounds, 9 assists, and a block. Van Vliet in 30 minutes at 19 points, 2 assists. Norman Powell in possibly his final game had 24 points. I'm sorry, in 24 minutes, had 22 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, and a block. And Paul Watson off the bench in 20 minutes at 12 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. I feel like he should be a spot-up shooter in the corner like a Terrence Davis. Like those corner threes that he makes those like, with ease. Like you just like screw the threes from the top of the key. Just stand in the corner, and someone will find you. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Chris Boucher didn't have his best night. In 16 minutes, he had 7. Yeah, in 16 minutes, he had 7 points, 6 rebounds, and a block. Bembry, 20 minutes, got to see some valuable minutes tonight. 9 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and he had some really good highlight moments tonight that a lot of people will see. And when Bembry plays like that, he can do he brings a lot to the table.
For sure.
100% off the bench.
Yeah, for sure. And Denver, Jokic in 29 minutes had 20 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists with 1 steal. Jamal Murray in 34 minutes had 20 points, 2 rebounds, 7 assists, and a steal. Michael Porter Jr. in 28 minutes had 19 points, 8 rebounds. And Paul Millsap in 22 minutes had 11 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists with a steal. And those are their double-digit scores. We did a really good job on defense, bro. Like I can't emphasize that enough. I feel like they only had 84 meaningful points when the Raptors played defense through the three quarters, and everything after that was basically just garbage minutes. Because for the most part, I felt like we were leading by double digits throughout the whole game.
Yeah.
I mentioned this earlier. Star player of the game, we are going with Pascal Siakam, right?
I do agree with that, but I feel like OG could be also part of that too, just because of the fact that
I feel like Norman too, but you know
Norman,
what?
I mean Norman, I expect that, but like just like those two guys, like Siakam setting the tone and OG's defense and his threes. I don't know. I just feel like those two guys deserve the star player.
I think Siakam today, just because like he's been MIA for so long, and then he suddenly just stepped up, right? Maybe it was the matchup. Maybe it was him and Nick Nurse had that conversation, was kind of sparked it. I don't know, but this is the Siakam we were looking for, and we found him. But I hope, like I said earlier, it's consistency.
I feel like OG Anunoby we could give it to for sure with how he's playing on both ends. But with all the Pascal slander we've given, I feel like he's worked his way to finally get from under the bus to getting star player of the game. And he was really efficient tonight. He abused JaMychal Green on multiple occasions. I don't feel like there was a single player on that team that could have guarded him.
Yeah.
You know, there's a few plays that he could have got a lot of and ones tonight, but he missed some easy bunnies.
Yeah.
On that note, who do you want to throw under the bus?
Chris Boucher.
Chris Boucher?
Quiet.
Yeah. I mean, he's pretty much the sixth man on our team, and the fact that Paul Watson got more points than him.
Yeah.
And Bembry too.
Yeah, Bembry too. Yeah, Bembry as well. Like he should have stepped up tonight, but he didn't.
All right, so we're putting Chris Boucher on the bus then.
Yeah, we'll put Siakam as star, and then Chris Boucher as the bus.
We're not going to bash the bench again for not showing up.
No.
I mean, the bench did show up technically.
Yeah. Compared to the Denver Nuggets, like I'm not going to bash them for that because still won the game.
Yeah, between Bembry, Watson, and Boucher, I believe they had 28 points. Yeah, 28 points, which is solid. I would take that compared to what they've been giving us in the previous games.
For sure.
And the Raptors had a good shooting night against, I believe, Houston or Cleveland, where they had 21 threes. It just didn't matter because they lost the game, right?
Yeah.
But like I said, they set a career franchise record of 24 three-pointers made for the game. And, positives, all positives tonight. We just got to wait less than 24 hours.
Yeah, less than 24 hours.
Find out if Lowry and Norman Powell are still Raptors, or if they end up on Miami or the Pacers.
Honestly, one thing I want to say before we wrap up and stuff is like, if we are the Raptor GM or Raptor the the back office, just make sure that we need bigs, right? So don't go looking for some like clown that won't help us get rebounds. Get us bigs. We need that. That's our missing piece. Everything else will fall into place. Just believe. But now that you talk about Lonzo Ball, if we get Lonzo Ball and Jackson Hayes, yo, I'm set. I'm blessed. We're good to go.
I was thinking like if we trade Lowry and Norman Powell, if they're both gone, and we get all the assets for like future guards and all those bench pieces that we need, I feel like a JaVale McGee would be solid for us to survive the rest of the season.
No, JaVale McGee. I didn't think about that.
But he's probably going to go to contender. He might, but he has 3 championships, so I don't know.
I was saying this game from Shaka Full to 3-time champion. That's crazy.
I know.
Imagine he wins 1 or 2 more, and he disses Shaka and he goes 5 all the way. Because Shaka has 4, right?
Yeah.
Shaka always have something to say about that, though. I was just saying, we could trade Baines for like Tristan Thompson or something. Give like another pick just like something,
I think it's time for Nick Nurse to get off the Patrick McCaw train. He can't find any time on the court.
Yeah, Patrick McCaw needs to go.
He's on the injury. He's on the injury report again today.
He's injured again?
Yeah, he didn't play. He was injured. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like McCaw, but yeah, I agree, man. Time to give up on him.
Yeah.
I think he just needs a new scene. He's won 3 championships like JaVale McGee, and I think he just needs to go to a team that'll let him recover without any bashing, right?
Yeah.
It's like a Markelle Fultz situation where he just keeps getting injured and he just needs to be on a team that the spotlight's not on, and just let him play his game when he gets healthy, 100% healthy.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts before we end this podcast?
If Siakam plays like this on Friday, I'm going to go nuts.
Yeah. It's against a good team, Phoenix. They just lost again. They lost to the Orlando Magic tonight.
Yeah.
Well, when is it? Friday night, I believe?
Friday, I think 7:30.
Friday night, 7:30? It's in Tampa.
It's in Tampa, yeah.
I think we're playing the next 6 out of 8 games at home.
That's good.
But on that note, appreciate everyone for tuning in and checking out the podcast. If you haven't liked it, like it already. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe already. What are you guys waiting for? That's slacking, bro. We'll be back hopefully Friday night, if not Saturday morning, with the post-game podcast for that Phoenix game. Hopefully with some fresh faces and new places and another W. And let's get a winning streak going and try to get back at least into the play-in tournament. And then we'll think about the actual playoffs if they can get a streak going. But till then, stay blessed, stay woke, and please stay safe. Peace.